Hello, Alchemist. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the Heal, Feel, and Reveal series. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about being sensitive AF. So I know if you click this video, you are wanting to figure out how can you transform your fragile glass into a diamond, because that's how I see sensitivity. I see sensitivity as a superpower. It's taken me time to learn how to hone in, how to cultivate that. But today we're going to talk about why being sensitive AF is a huge advantage. It's a superpower. And all the ways in which I've learned how to cultivate it and grow it and transform it from fragile glass, a state of being a fragile glass, to a superpower. If you are new to this Heal, Feel, Reveal series, make sure you check out my other videos. I've released up to 16 lessons by now. And each lesson taps into an aspect of life, learning how to bring your inner work and your outer work together to create the life that you want. I feel like my purpose is especially tied to bringing together practicality and creativity / spirituality, and actually grounding yourself in an experience that is tailored to you and your personality and your desires and what you want. So before we get started, I thought I'd do something a little different because we're talking about sensitivity and emotions. I thought I'd just go ahead and ding my little bow here. Hopefully it's not too loud. This is my singing bow. I got this for my birthday last year. I was so excited when I found it. So I think you guys are getting the full ASMR experience because it's raining right now. So you might hear the rain outside, but let's just take it as really graceful ambience and meant to be. They say the higher the pitch, the higher the vibration. So that's what that is for, is to pass on good vibes to you. Hopefully you're feeling that. If you're new to my channel, make sure you check out the other videos in the series. Also check out my Monday motivational videos. I started a new series called Healing Relationships, which I'm really excited about. I think it's so important. Like we identify so much with our relationships and we put so much attention on them, and it's really the thing that we're here to experience primarily is connecting to people. Check out that series if you're interested in finding ways to have and cultivate healthier relationships in your life. Okay, so let's go ahead and start on this topic, being sensitive AF. Let me just share a short snippet of my story. Since I was a kid, I was always told I was too sensitive, and I noticed early on that I was different. People kept saying that to me. Wow, you're really sensitive. Primarily my parents. I love them. We have a great relationship today, but it has been a growing, gradual process. My parents always told me I was too sensitive. Ironically, guess what? They're also sensitive. So what I came to understand is that we're all sensitive. It's just some people are more attuned to it than others. I feel like I came into this world with a rebellious spirit that was here to fight the fight. My dad always likes to joke that I like to go around, as a kid, I like to go around telling people their rights in the house. And he's right. I'm a moon in Sagittarius. I'm very self-righteous. I'm all about justice, Libra ascendant as well. And I desire so much for people to find their right path. And honestly, being a sensitive person, I related so much to seeing myself as the victim for so long until I understood the power behind it. Because it's not that we're not all sensitive. We're all sensitive. It's just some people are more attuned to it on the spectrum. When you come into this world with a high level of sensitivity, it allows you to connect and have more compassion with other people. However, the biggest challenge for sensitive people is boundaries and learning how to create boundaries in their relationships and with those around them. What your sensitivity is there to do, I'll just go ahead and dive in and just give you guys a little peek into what I'm going to be talking about today. Your sensitivity is there to attune your compass. It's there to help you figure out what's right for you and what's not right for you. It's just some people, they lean away from understanding how to use it, and they focus more on detaching themselves from their connecting to themselves, connecting to other people, connecting to their body. When they detach from all of those experiences, their relationships fall apart, their body falls apart, their emotions fall apart. So you actually want to hone in even more into your sensitivity, and you have to focus it. So I always talk about focusing your emotions, the energy. When you focus the energy, you listen, and you have that superpower. Those moments in the movies where the superhero time slows down and they're like watching things in slow motion. You have to learn how to see things in slow motion when it comes to your emotions. Slow it down, because it allows you to see really quick. And what Eckhart Tolle talks about, observing the emotion. If you observe the emotion, it doesn't overtake you. You allow the emotion to teach you what you need. So essentially, I'm talking about self-control. If you learn how to use more self-control, you can use your sensitivity as a superpower as opposed to a weakness. And so many people see it as a weakness. I felt like people made me feel disadvantaged and like a victim, and I saw myself as a victim because everyone said I was too sensitive and I was reactive. But then I realized if I just focused my energy, I could actually use it to my advantage, because I actually have a sense for what people want. I have a sense for how I feel. I have a sense for my purpose. It's like I get dialed deeper into things that other people are less aware of. I'm like highly aware of those things. So it's one of my superpowers is to be aware of that. So if you feel exhausted and drained from your sensitivity, this is the video for you to watch today. Sensitivity, one, it's a superpower. I've already talked about that. It's a superpower because it makes you more attuned to what's going on around you. Second of all, sensitivity gives you clues. It unlocks your purpose, your gifts, what you're good at. It unlocks the relationships that are more for you versus are not for you. I thought I was crazy, growing up. I can't have a lot of people around me. Or like when I say a lot of people, like friends. I love crowds. Like if I'm at a concert, I think they're so fun. But when it comes to friendships, I'm very sensitive to certain energies. And I've always been drawn to sensitive people, like people who are just very sensitive to the world. And to be honest, people who have a tendency to kind of feel overwhelmed by the reality of this world, because I'm the same way. I for so long had to deal with my emotions in the sense that I felt overwhelmed by this reality, and I had to learn that we're meant to be in this world. So being a sensitive person, sometimes you might feel like you want to escape from the world, but actually you have to escape into it. And if you actually go on my website, that's one of my quotes. I want to learn how to escape into life, not away from it. I want to learn how to use my gifts and my sensitivity to my advantage, to connect with people, to connect with myself, to find my purpose, and to do things that are really attuned to what I need in my life. Your emotions, your sensitivity are clues into unlocking your gifts and your purpose, what you're good at, what you're here to do, what your dreams are, how to make your dreams come alive. When you focus that energy, you can do anything. Third, sensitivity allows you to connect even more firmly with others. So I'm kind of summarizing the biggest things I talked about earlier in this video, but sensitivity allows you to connect with people. So because I was a very sensitive person, I have more compassion for people. The thing is, I'm both. I'm a little tough love too, because I don't see myself that way anymore, but I understand the struggle. I understand if you feel sensitive, you feel overwhelmed by this world. I understand, like paying bills, it can be overwhelming of an experience, or just going to work, going to 9 to 5 can be very hard on a person who's very sensitive. So I have a lot of compassion for people, and I can connect with them on that level, which is why I feel so passionate about helping people to get themselves out of that situation, because it's not really something I feel I have to worry about anymore for myself. However, it's so interesting because I'm like, my purpose is to teach people while also teaching myself. So it's very interesting, but I feel like I always had the answers. Learning how to do it has been tricky, but I'm finding my way, and I feel very confident in being able to share this experience with other people. 4, sensitivity is beautiful because it advances your ability to heal. Because you become very attuned to your ancestral patterns, the dysfunction in your family. For some time, I was the black sheep in my family. I noticed a lot of dysfunction from, both sides of my family early on. And I noticed the patterns. I caught on to the patterns. I caught on to the undercurrent of what was going on in my family. And so that allowed me to figure out, okay, these are my patterns too. It's part of my DNA too. So instead of repeating the pattern, how do I break it? How do I break these chains? How do I free my ancestors of having to go through generations and generations of more trauma? How do I stop it here? So if you're attuned to your sensitivity and you use what I'm going to share for you guys later is those tips to hone in on your sensitivity. If you use those tips, you can free yourself of these ancestral patterns and use your sensitivity as a superpower to heal. Now, just a really quick add-on to healing. It's my belief, I don't see people as healers. When I hear that terminology a lot, this is just my belief because I'm very intuitive where I get my knowledge. I don't think we can heal people. What we can do is through our own healing, we can help activate other people's healing. So any person can heal you. You can have a child who's beautiful and they just open your mind and open your heart, and that becomes your healing experiences, having that child. Or you can have a relationship, or you can find a dream career, and that can help you in your healing journey. I don't believe people can heal other people. I don't proclaim to be a healer. I don't think anyone really is a healer. Is what some people do is they have the ability to activate healing in other people. But the way that they do that, you have to heal and have healed your own stuff to be able to activate someone else's healing. So it's just a little rant on the side. I just don't think it's accurate to go around calling people healers when really we're activators. We're activator healers. The only way we can heal and help, not really heal, but help people heal is through our own healing. That's it. Through our own enlightenment. Seeing and showing ourselves our own way. And then another snippet to add on to that, I've always believed, the story with Buddha, the story with Jesus, what they taught people is to go your own path. That's why I stepped away from church. I actually really liked church. I loved being brought up in Christianity, but I went in and out of that experience because it didn't solidify for me. I just couldn't fully sit in the experience. And a lot of that had to do with I kept feeling like I think I'm supposed to make it my own. I don't think I'm supposed to find one teacher or find another teacher and just stick to their learnings. I think I'm supposed to find a teacher, learn their learnings, and then go back to bring that experience into my experience. So that's what I've learned that's why I don't really believe in just following one spiritual path. You're supposed to follow your spiritual path and create that experience for yourself. Okay, so side story. Let's go ahead and get back to sensitivity. Now let's go ahead and talk about the tips you can utilize to hone in on your sensitivity so you can use it as your superpower. So number one, I talk about this all the time, journal. And what I like to do is I like to do video journaling, I like to do voice memos, and I like to do writing. I like to do them all. Any kind of journaling. I'm just passionate about communication in general. Make sure you journal. You write down your emotions and you look at them. Journaling allows you to acknowledge your inner child as well as change your story. So if you look at your story, you'll start to see the patterns, right? One of the patterns that I noticed in our family was a lot of anger, a lot of suppressed anger, suppressed emotions, pent up emotions that needed to be expressed and released. A lot of need for releasing these emotions. And then also there's so much creativity in our family, woven into our family. There's such a strong need to follow a creative path for me. I'm like, I really need to just do my thing and be creative and create what I want. And then be that experience for my family and show them, because everyone else is so practical. They're all about, okay, this is step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how you get success. But I was just like, no, it never related to me. So change your story. You see your story and you'll see the patterns of what's not working. Write a new story and the universe will guide you along and show you how to achieve that story. My second tip is make sure you meditate at least 5 to 30 minutes a day. So originally when I started meditating, what I did is I went on a 12-day Vipassana retreat. It's essentially a silent retreat where you have no cell phones And it's so wonderful. It's free of cost, at least the one that I went to. You get to eat, sleep comfortably, and meditate for 16 hours a day, which is absolutely insane. It was a really cool experience. It was very challenging, though. It allowed me to release so many emotions. Day to day, I would have a lot of nightmares, and I was wondering, what the heck is going on? I'm on this peaceful retreat. I'm not having chaotic thoughts during the day. My mind is just zenned out and wandering. Yet, why am I having all these nightmares? And it's because I was releasing. You can do something like that where you go on a retreat and you learn how to meditate, or you can just meditate 5 to 30 minutes a day. I started getting back into my meditation routine because I got out of it. I got back into it. I'm getting back into it because I'm realizing it's creating really quick results, because meditation is a reset. So we're picking up on people's energies and emotions all the time. And as a sensitive person, it's just what we do. We pick up on people's energies. We have to establish boundaries. Meditation is a way for you to reset and release all of that energy. Let all of that energy go so that you can move forward into your day, your job, and whatever you're doing with ease. 5 to 30 minutes is what I would recommend daily. I started out with 5, and now I just sit there for 15 minutes without even realizing it, because I'll time it and then I'll just keep sitting there until I start to reach a much more relaxed state. Essentially, meditation, the whole point is to be a lot more present in your body, to feel the sensations. If you watch Eckhart Tolle, he talks about feeling sensations in your body, feel the vibrations in your body, and just focus your attention on a part or a sensation. In the Vipassana, we were taught to let our attention, our focus travel head to toe, repeatedly, head to toe. Okay, tip number 3 is feel the sensation of your emotions when they come up. Feel the sensations of the emotions in your body. So this helped me to detach from everything that I'm feeling, because emotions can be very overwhelming, especially if you're a sensitive person. Eckhart Tolle, I was not planning on referencing Eckhart Tolle throughout this entire video, but I guess he's just one of those teachers that I can't forget about. He talks about returning to feeling the sensations of the energy of the emotion. So if you feel the sensation, instead of thinking anger, I'm angry, feel the sensation and focus your attention on, like I'm on fire, my mind's on fire, my chest is overwhelmed or feels heavy. If you learn how to connect to your body and feel the sensation of your emotions throughout your body, then when your emotions start to pick up and build and overwhelm you, you can pause it, or you can kind of stop it, slow it down, and then pull it back down, because emotions are a sensational experience. And if you're up here in your mind, they'll run amok. So if you're angry and you just go to your mind and you keep thinking those thoughts associated with anger, it's going to build. But if you feel the sensations in your body, you focus on the energy of it, you can calm the energy down and it won't overwhelm you, and you can detach it. So if you detach your thinking from the feeling, you can slow it down and it won't overwhelm you to be impulsive and be reactive. Tip number 4 is to be gentle with yourself and with others. And I also connect this to forgiveness. So if there's any time in your life where you felt like you were so reactive and you feel embarrassed about how you reacted, or you feel bad about, or you feel angry at how someone treated you, it's time for you to let that go and practice the art of forgiveness. And forgiveness is something you're going to have to repeatedly do until you've just forgiven. It's a constant experience. So even if you feel like I'm ready to release and live my happy life, it might come up again where you have to forgive again. So forgive people, forgive others, try to forgive as quickly as you can. Free yourself of the angst, the attachment to the person or the experience, and be gentle with yourself. I think at some point in this journey of spirituality and seeking my truth, I used to put so much pressure on myself to just get it right. There isn't any get it right, and there need not be. So don't worry about falling into old patterns. Don't worry about it. You're going to be at where you're at. I still have impulsive childlike reactions. I would say mostly internally. They're not really outwardly expressed, but internally I have impulsive reactions all the time, and especially around family. That's probably the most challenging, what do they call it? spiritual practice is being around family, because you're just called to react sometimes when you're used to being around their energy and you're used to reacting. So learning how to control that it takes discipline and it takes maturity. Just give yourself time to do that. And don't think, I used to be like, oh my gosh, like I used to literally drive myself crazy, be like, oh my gosh, I don't deserve friends, or I don't deserve a relationship because I can't control this, or let it go. We're all flawed. We all react sometimes. So whenever I see people react and get really emotional, sometimes I'm like, they need to calm down. But at the same time, because I am very aware and I have a lot of self-awareness. And so when I see people react, I'm just like, why can't people just chill out? Yet at the same time, I'm like, well, technically I would have done that too. I would have, if you caught me on the wrong day, I would have had that reaction too. All right, so for tip number 5, channel your emotions into creativity. So find a creative activity to do so you can help transmute your emotions, or you can reveal your emotions, or you can release your emotions. Creativity is just really great. It's a cathartic experience for understanding what's flowing energetically through you. But it's also just a great way to just get into a really wonderful flow state so that you're not so attached to everything that's going on in the world. That's why I love, as an art teacher, watching the kids create. They're so free. People always say they're not creative, but I'm like, if you were a kid at some point, you had ideas and you were infinitely creative, and you knew you were infinitely creative. So don't tell me you're not creative. There was a woman I met, and she had gone through cancer. She had gone through cancer and chemotherapy. She survived it. And during her retirement years, she decided to go buy herself a bunch of coloring books and coloring supplies. And she would color. She would just color. She's like, I'm not creative at all, but I bought these coloring books and I color, and they just make me feel good. You need to find an activity like that for you to do, because creativity it's very fluid, and it just kind of allows you to be. So if you practice being in a creative experience, you can do dancing, you can create music. If there's a hobby you find, just make space for you to do something every day, a little bit creative, even if it's just 5 minutes, and you'll find that the creativity will overflow. For example, I've always done realism. I like to do really realistic portraits, really realistic art. As an art teacher, I had to learn how to challenge myself to do cartoons. I'm like, I've never done cartoons before. And the other day I started doing manga characters, anime characters that I made up. And I started practicing drawing, and I had never done it before. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. I didn't even know if I could see things that way. And I made a superhero. Like, have I ever created a superhero before? I'm like, you just don't know what you're capable of until you try it. So just try it. Okay, so tip number 6 is you need to practice gratitude. Practice manifesting meditations. So visualize what you want. Get in touch with your desires. So this is part of the experience. Part 1 is like, we got to process the emotions. We got to journal about it. We got to transmute it. We got to meditate it. We got to reset, get it out, release it. And then the other part to it is, now we get to raise our vibration. Now we get to bring our experience higher. That's just as important. So even if you're in a point in life where you're feeling kind of hopeless or sad, still have dreams and believe you can have dreams, and write your dreams down and get practice with visualizing things where you're doing something that you love and you're in tune and you're passionate about what you do and you're living a life that you desire. This is going to raise your vibration. I had to hold on to that vision of me obtaining goals for so long when I wasn't obtaining it, while I was in that lower state. But that vision I held for myself, it helped me to climb out of that lower state. So you have to practice raising your vibration, right? So we practice the processing and the releasing. We talked about processing and releasing. We talked about being. Now we're talking about creating and making and manifesting and raising our energy. So gratitude, I always say, is very important. You have to be grateful for things that you have, even if it's just something small, even if you can only be grateful for 2 things that day. Really get in touch with gratitude and feeling good. That was so awkward for me because I was definitely an angsty kid, didn't really feel grateful for a lot of things, even though I was given quite a bit, because I was like, well, I want my parents to be present with me. I want my parents to acknowledge my emotions. That was way more important to me than things. but I still had to practice gratitude and realize I am blessed. I got my health. I'm fortunate. My parents are always there for me whenever I need them. I'm good. So tip number 7 is connect and be present with others. Relationships inform, they are mirrors to us. We need to connect. We need that expression. We need that experience. Find ways, moments, time to just connect with people, talk to people. How's your day going? How are you doing? How are you feeling? There are times where I was so sensitive, so in my angsty emotions, I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to be around anyone. In the connection, when I was able to stop, pause, and connect to people, I realized this feels so good. It feels good it feels so good to be seen. When I'm having those conversations with people, when I'm it just feels so good. Like I feel alive when I'm being seen. When I was doing my coaching courses, it was so awkward because I was so used to being around myself and my own energy, but we were around people all day for like 8 hours straight for 3 days. And you're just constantly connecting and seeing people and making eye contact and talking to each other. And it's just like, it's uncomfortable, but it brings a huge sense of aliveness. So why do we go on social media? Like, why do we do anything we do? It's to connect. We want the connection. So take the time. If you have a couple of friends, you have a person in your life, ask them how they're doing, tell them how you're doing, have a conversation, physically get close, hug each other, connect with one another, friends, families, and coworkers. The last tip I'm going to share is surround yourself with people you respect and you admire. Surround yourself with people, even if it's not real, like the real in-person experience, find people online who you respect, who you admire, who you aspire to be like. So it gives you that hope to move towards becoming resilient. And I'm willing to bet you a lot of these people that you aspire to be are actually really sensitive in their own way. They just learned how to hone in on it. So that's what I've learned. I watched a lot of Oprah growing up. I had so much respect for Oprah growing up. Hearing her story and hearing how sensitive she was, I realized like, wow, that's amazing. She's so sensitive, so attuned. And yet she's just done so much for herself. Like, how did she do that? I'm like, I'm sensitive. I got stage fright. Like, how do I get out of these experiences and start creating for myself a life that I really desire? You have to find someone who's already doing it. And if there's someone out there doing it, best believe you can do it too. Okay, so those are my tips for sensitivity. That's my talk about sensitivity. I hope you guys enjoy that. I hope you have a wonderful day or evening. Make sure you check out the other videos in the series. Check out my Monday motivational videos, healing relationship videos, as well as anything else that I create. And I wanted to go ahead and promote my website. I'll be sharing some new photography work soon. Have fun in checking that out, and I hope you guys are enjoying this series. Bye.